So Steam officially is allowing you to now gift the complete set or a bundle of a video game to your, to your friends list, like whoever you want to actually gift it to. Um, this is huge because every time, like when I would do my giveaways, every single time I would do them, it would be a pain in the ass because sometimes it would be a better deal to do a bundle, and I can't gift certain bundles to people. Like it's very annoying. So the fact that they're adding this to their repertoire is great. I think that is a big deal. I think that this is going to be yet another consumer friendly practice from Steam. It's about goddamn time they did it. It took them a little bit too long. And it's funny because while Steam is out here allowing you to gift entire bundles, Epic Games is like, hey, we finally allowed you the ability to gift one game. I don't know. I just think it's funny. But that is cool. It says, these days, the only time I recapture the sheer rush of Steam sales of old, I could buy every Quake for $5 is when I find one of those complete your collection set some games have. Well, joyous news, you can now share that glee with your Steam pals. As spotted by SteamDB, Valve has recently pushed a change through that means you can now purchase these kind of bundles as gifts. Yes, look at this. This is beautiful. See, you couldn't gift these before, at least most of them anywhere. Like the Ghost Recon bundle, you couldn't gift this. So like anytime there was a massive bundle, anytime there was something that was a crazy deal and you wanted to gift all these games in one shot, you couldn't do it. You had to go and do each one manually, which really sucked. But now you can actually gift a bundle, which makes me very happy. So that's going to be good for whenever we do our next giveaway. I cannot wait. That's going to be really good. But now talking about all that and that good news, we had a little bit of coping and seething from good old Tim Sweeney because, nothing could happen with Steam without Tim Sweeney coming out here and having to say something. So Tim Sweeney said the following. Well, first, let me give you some context. So he's quote tweeting Pirate Nation, and it says, according to New Blood CEO, Epic Game Store's free giveaways caused a huge spike in Steam sales. The game sold 200% more copies on Steam that day than usual. He called the EGS giveaway great advertising for Steam sales. So a developer or somebody that's the CEO behind New Blood has openly admitted that Epic Games, their free games, is essentially a way of giving advertising. It's essentially a way of giving like a trial, basically, and that people end up actually going to go buy the game after playing it for free on Epic Games. If they like it enough, they go and buy the game on Steam, which is hilarious. I'm sure that's not something he's going to want to hear, but that is something he's just going to have to deal with. So that made Tim Sweeney respond because, Tim Sweeney's not going to let that go, obviously, especially when it's Pirate Nation. It's a big account talking about it. Like, he's not going to let that go, right? So Tim Sweeney says, Epic and Steam compete for each other's customer and each sale. Do they really, though? Let's be real. Like, do they really compete? Come on. We looked at the numbers. We saw the numbers. They don't really compete. We know they don't compete. We know that you're just basically saying that. You only ever just say that. I mean, again, just a reminder, okay? Epic Games did about, what was it? 255,000, I think it was, in third-party sales, right? 255,000 in third-party sales for the entirety of the year. Steam did 1.6 billion in third-party sales in just 1 month, right? So, like, we're not even in the same stratosphere, right? This is not, like, to say they're competing is truly kind of insulting. But anyway, it's fine. So Epic and Steam compete for each customer in each sale. On some transactions, Epic wins. On more, Steam wins. That's putting it lightly. But one thing is constant on every transaction. Gamers and developers win by having more options and better deals. And listen, I agree with that. I do agree with the final statement, even though I think he's in his dreamland if he thinks he's competing with Steam. I always love more options. I think more options is a great thing. I think if you are going to provide an option to players, at least make that option something attractive. And I think that's what I disagree with on Tim Sweeney, because he thinks that by just offering a store, that's enough to offer another option. And I think that's kind of stupid, right? You are choosing to not add a lot of features that make quality of life so desirable on Steam. And the reason why Steam is considered a community instead of just a store. You don't have that, right? All you have is just your store. That's it, and a bare bones friends list. Well, now you could give games, so that's different. That's great for you, but still, like you barely have anything to compete with Steam. And by the way, that is not because they don't have the capability. They do have the capability. He has openly stated that he doesn't want to do that, right? So this is a major problem for me. But anyway, I do agree. Gamers and developers having more options is always a good thing. Better deals. I don't know if you have better deals. I still think Steam has the better deals, unless you're factoring in your free games with the better deals, and then maybe you have a point, right? Maybe you have a point. What's up, Tiger King? How you doing? So he says, though Epic processes only around 70% as many third-party payments as Steam, that vastly underreports economic activity, as devs on Epic Games Store are free to process their own payments and keep 100%. And many major games like GTA do so. So he's trying to say that even though they're getting felted on the performance of third-party video game sales, that at least they're whoring themselves out to developers and giving them 100% revenue share. And that should somehow make gamers, I don't know, happy or something. I really don't know what exactly his play is here. The more telling number is monthly active users, where Epic Games Store is 55 to 60% the size of Steam. We heavily reinvest back into engaging users through the free games program, putting our revenue back to work for developers in a way that those yachts and diamonds. Oh shit! No. Guys, he attacked the meme. Oh no, he attacked the meme of Gabe. Oh, wait a second. Gabe Newell, diamond teeth watch. Wait. This is funny, bro. Yo, he's so mad right now. He literally attacked the meme. He attacked this. He attacked the meme. Look at this. This is crazy, bro. That's crazy. Oh man, Tim Sweeney is extremely salty. Yeah, I agree. Saint to Jason, he says he's just salty, can't afford a new yacht. He thinks Diamond Gabe is real, bro. If you think Diamond Gabe is real, that's crazy. I'm sure it's real in real life, but not in this manner. And if it is, I mean, listen, it's a private company. It is what it is. Get over it. Yo, he's so angry. It's crazy. That's wild. That's that. I didn't even read that when I was covering this story initially, and I was gonna prep for the stream. I didn't even see that comment. That's crazy, bro. Anyway, let's go back to it really quick. I kind of want to see the responses to that now, because I'm sure people are gonna be like, why are you coping? Why are you coping right now? Let's see what's going on. Hold on. So Tim Sweeney, keep in mind, guys, 55 to 60% the size of Steam. And look at what he says. He says that he heavily reinvests back into engaging users through the free games program, because he knows that he has no other way to engage people onto Epic Games Store. Be honest with me, guys. Anybody in the chat, please tell me. If you are, let's say you're out there and you use Epic Games and you use Steam, right? How many of you prefer the platform of Epic Games over Steam? Be honest, please. And you can include the free games in there if you want to use that as a method of why you prefer the platform. But how many people out there that utilize both platforms actually care about Epic Games over Steam? Let's just be honest. Like, I can't imagine it's going to be very many people, unless you are maybe like a hardcore Fortnite player. But then that goes into the conversation about third party versus first party, because for them, most of their money comes from first party, right? Most of their money comes from Fortnite and Apex Legends or whatever. So Dade says, I just go to Epic for free games. Yep, that sounds about right. Okay, bro says it is cool how they do that, and you get the games permanently too. Okay, that's fair. Full Metal says just for Fortnite. Okay. Soulzen says barely use Epic Games. Courageous Kirsten says I actually like GOG the most in Steam. Okay, fair. Death Star says uses GOG in Steam. Okay, fair. Again, and I know there are a lot of people that use GOG and prefer that over both, and that's fair. But I'm just saying, like, if you have both, like, who out there actually prefers Epic Games? I just don't think there's that many people that actually do. So let's continue. Unless you're a gamer on Mac, because why again? I know originally why. Why now? Clapping. Here comes a new challenger. Bro, are you serious? Steam is an actual competitor to Epic? You're joking? Bro, if people on the internet absolutely know that he's not competing. Like they are not competing with Steam in the slightest. Which transaction is Epic winning besides Fortnite and Rocket League? Again, Fortnite and Rocket League, those are games that they own. Those are franchises they own. They're considered first-party franchises. Tim, you need to push harder on the community side. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I cannot agree with this sentiment enough. Thank you, man. And he doesn't want to do that. Bro, this comment from Nick says, or Vic, it says, Tim, you need to push harder on the community side. That's really where Steam has the advantage. It's not as much just a storefront. Yes, this comment right here is 100% the problem. I'm going to like this comment. This is the problem, is that Tim Sweeney and Epic Games do not want to actually compete with Steam on any reasonable level that will make it attractive for people that are already hardcore Steam users. It's just not going to happen. How are you going to go from one platform that gives you unended amount of community support to a platform that gives you nearly zero? Why would you do that? Unless there is some other attractive element to it, like with GOG, for example, where they have the whole no DRM thing, like you own your games. That's extremely attractive for a digital buyer, right? So I feel like that is a big enough attractive element of their platform for Steam users to say, okay, well, maybe I'll start buying games over there. But aside from that, Epic Games is doing everything else Steam is doing, just 95% less. So how exactly are you going to be competing in any way that's actually worth it? You're just not. My dream is both platforms to merge into Steamic. That is not a good dream. Mr. Tim, honestly, you're doing a great job with Epic Games Store. Something I see requested quite often is deeper customization. I remember from previous years that Fortnite aimed to be more of a social network due to the metaverse focus. So implementing features similar to Facebook and X on Epic Games Store would be great. Notice how everybody's asking for community features. Notice how it's not about the game store or the games or whatever. It's strictly about the community features. This is what fucking Tim has to do, bro. And if Tim doesn't do it, he's going to continue to be the subpar platform out of all of them. I would not be surprised, because keep in mind, he admits that he's throwing money at the platform to try to keep it afloat through the free games, right? If he didn't have that, Epic Games would be dead. We all know that. Epic Games Store would be completely dead if it wasn't for the free games. The free games are keeping people there, or at least keeping people using the platform to download the game and then go back to Steam, which is a fucking crazy thing, by the way. Like, how are you okay with that happening? I think it's insane. His new name is Salty Sweeney. Yeah, I mean, that could definitely be it. So as a holder of both, it sucks as this kind of competition keeps emerging rather than converging. Brand loyalty and trust is real. Cross entitlements, progression play, etc., isn't moving fast enough. Yeah, again, I don't see a world where Steam and Epic Games are going to merge, especially since one is public and one is private. I just don't see how that's going to happen in any way that's going to benefit either party. I think the only way that would happen is if Epic Games goes broke, which, I mean, with the amount of spending they do, that's definitely possible at any given time. If their cash cow ends up stops being a cash cow. Like, if Fortnite ever stopped being a cash cow, Epic Games is in deep trouble. You guys know that, right? We all know that. If it wasn't for Epic Games and if it wasn't for Fortnite, Epic Games would be in trouble. Now, Rocket League makes some decent money. Apex Legends makes decent money, but at the end of the day, it's Fortnite that makes them their bread and butter by a large margin. And if it wasn't for that game, they would be cooked. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what ends up happening. If Tim Sweeney will ever actually implement something that people ask for, or is he just going to keep giving free games hoping people stay? I don't know. I have no idea. I guess time will tell. But that was basically the topic around Steam.